All right, welcome everybody. So today we're going to discover together with you the case study how you raised $750,000 through crowdfunding and how you can apply that yourself. So we raised $750,000 for our movie called Leap. It's the first documentary about the coaching profession ever. And let's have a look together at the trailer and what's the production value of this movie with $750,000. Let's have a look at it together.
Emmy Award-winning investigative reporter, and in less than an hour, I lost it all.
Glendale police arrested today's TMJ4 reporter Rob Coble.
Why would a 327-pound woman start a lingerie company when she knows nothing about lingerie? She's never worked in retail. She's only worked in law firms. She only knows how to be a lawyer. This is dumb.
I'm Chad James. I'm 43 years old and single. All the women I've met have had more issues in a magazine subscription. They weren't bad women, they just had a lot of issues. One major issue they have is I'm a 43-year-old virgin.
Why am I doing all the things which I do? Because a lot of the time I'm thinking, yes, I should step up on my leadership. But at the end of the day is, why am I doing that for?
You have no idea what you're up to. You're about to embark on a journey of your lifetime that will transform your business and life totally.
And we have chosen the best of the best coaches, mentors and experts to really support you on this journey.
Is it okay if I'm straight with you?
Yeah.
If you want your balls back from your mom, you need to take them back.
I am no longer a victim. Never, ever again.
Asking someone to go for a beach walk doesn't mean you have to marry them.
Every time I think it's gonna get easier, it gets fucking worse.
I don't want to be the business person that always cries, but it's always about him.
So tell me this, what are you afraid of will happen if you let him go?
But so much thing in my past, all the journey come together in me, and it just go beyond words, and it's just a lot of imagery.
And you can't be a game changer without finding the true reason why you want to be a game changer.
Mr. Zulu!
It sounds like you did what most people do, and that is you chased after success thinking that was going to bring you happiness.
It's time to stop looking outside yourself for validation.
I'm willing to leave the crying behind to focus on my beautiful life.
Excellent.
We all have embarrassing things and we hide them.
What was the difference between the Rob back then and the Rob today? Awareness.
You have the job of recruiting and developing other leaders.
My job is to help you become the person you want to become.
Is there anybody who knows the answers for you?
No, only I know the answer.
Oh, great.
So today you'll discover how you raised $750,000 for our movie Leap through crowdfunding. And we raised $185 on the platform Indiegogo, and the rest we raised through private investors outside of the crowdfunding. You can apply these 15 steps for any kind of business, for any kind of startup that you have, and raise funds yourself. All right, so let's get started with step number 1, which is an attractive domain name. Why is that important? It's important that people remember you, that it's easy for them to make a connection with you. Here are a few examples of a few of our websites. For example, Center for Body Language. It's easy to remember, it's easy to find. We also train about micro-expressions. So we made the website Micro-Expressions Training Videos, which is one of our products. And we put the name of what it is, the main key searching keyword, the main keyword that people search for, we put that in the domain name. So it's easy to remember, and it's also easy to say it on the phone. So don't put any dashes, any special symbols in the domain name, because it makes it more difficult for people to write it, to remember it. Step number 2 is a very clear mission that is inspiring and measurable. This is very important for future partners, clients to support you and to come on board in line with that mission and vision. For us, it's to inspire over 1 million lives to be more successful in life and business. Yes. Step number 3 is create a great website, because it's your visit card to the world. When a potential investor or a client comes to the website or a partner, they need to be impressed. They need to say like, wow, this is a great mission and this looks good. Step number 4 is to find ambassadors and world-class collaborations, because you need to look to the number 1 persons in your industry to support you. Because if other persons, investors, clients see that on your website as part of your business plan, of your project, they will easier collaborate with you. For us, it was, for example, Marshall Goldsmith, who's the world's #1 executive coach, or Mark Thompson, who's the advisor to Richard Branson and Steve Jobs. For coaching, it doesn't get better than that. So we reached out to those persons first to ask them for supporting the mission, supporting the project, supporting the movie. They came on board, and actually Marshall Goldsmith was one of the first who sent out an email to all his network saying, hey guys, this movie is coming, and that's how we got the first investors on board. And we also connected a few other big names in the beginning of the project, like John Gray, John DeMartini, Marcy Shimoff, Jack Canfield. Those are all top names in the industry, and that helps when a visitor or an investor sees that on the website, in the business plan, they say, if they trust that, I'll trust that as well. Then step number 5, calculate your minimum go points. So when you're out going there to crowdfund your startup, your project, you need to know what's like the tipping point where I will give this 100% a go and where I'm yet unsure. Let us give us the example of what it meant to us. So we knew that to make a movie, we need at least $200,000. We can't make the movie for less than $200,000. So if we were able to raise $100,000, that's really the minimum, before we went to crowdfunding it, then with the crowdfunding on top of that, we'll probably make it to $200,000. That's also why we set the go point at $100,000. From the moment that we reach the go point, we know, okay, we can open the project up for crowdfunding on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or other platform. Then, what kind of goal do you put on the crowdfunding website? Well, we chose 150, not the minimum that we needed, but we knew that we would probably raise more, but we'd like to have a little bit less because of the strategic commission structure of Indiegogo. And then, well, $200,000 is the minimum that we needed to raise for the film. And our ideal budget to make a really great film, nicer production value, nicer pictures, better sound, special effects, no dinosaurs, not for this movie at least. Well, our ideal budget was $400,000. Our dream budget, we could never think of more that we could ever raise for this movie, was $500,000. Still, today we raised $750,000, and it looks really good that this will be a $1 million project. Step number 6 is implement a proven business plan with a coach or mentor, somebody who has done this before. One of our mentors was the advisor to Richard Branson and Steve Jobs, Mark Thompson. And he looked for half an hour at our business plan and he said like, this won't work, you need to do this differently and this in this way. And actually we know today that if we would have used our old business plan, we would have raised $300,000 less, because we know what he advised us and we know what we implemented and we know what the difference is. So here are a few tips for your business plan. It's important that it's scalable. So if you give away all your percentages or your equity in your company when you reach $200,000, so how can you reach more if you've given away everything? So think of a system that opens the project, your startup, open. It keeps it open to raise $1 million, $10 million. If you raise ever that amount, how will you give value to the other investors? Think of that up front and implement it already in the beginning of your business plan. Also quite useful is to answer proactively all the questions of a potential investor that is looking at the business plan. Instead of them thinking, oh, no, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, just answer all those questions already in the business plan before they even think of those questions. And also make it a total no-brainer. Make it easy for them to say yes and say like, okay, so this is the opportunity, this is the cost. Wow, yeah, I'll do this because this is a total no-brainer. Step number 7, it's quite easy. Just take action. Find the first investors. Go out there, start sending the business plan, start contacting people, start making calls, and find the first investors. And step 8, once you've taken that action, well, keep going. Because be aware that no comes first, usually. You get all those no's first, and then keep going. Don't get demotivated. And the yeses, they will come in later, because those people have to think about it longer, right? They need more details. Here are some statistics, what it meant for us to get this project off the ground. We spent about 6 months in the beginning working on the first investors to get on board. And that took about 40,000 emails to contacts we had or in collaboration with other partners. And we booked about 8 calls per day. I had every single day during 6 months, 8 calls. So that's a total about 1,000 calls, right? With potential investors who have been pre-screened already every single day. And from those 1,000, about 30 said yes in the end. So to calculate a little bit, so 39,000 persons, they were interested, they were already filtered, they were like potential investors. They weren't even interested to have a call about this. They got the message, but they said no before even having a call. But when I had 970 calls, those 970 calls said no during the call or after the call. That's a lot of no's, right? And only 30 of them said yes from those thousands. So that's on average 1 full week of work, every day, 8 calls of about half an hour, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, and a lot of no's. And just 1 per week after a full day per full day work week. After 1 full work week, you get 1 yes. So keep going. Step number 9, find partners and engage your network. Don't play alone, get others engaged to promote your product, to promote your startup, to get the word out there. So during those 1,000 calls, several people were not interested to invest their own funds in the project, but they were interested to collaborate. So what we ask them, for example, is to send out an email to their network or ask them, do you know somebody who would be interested in this? And we published quite a lot of partners, logos of persons who were supportive of the project and helped to get the word out there. And that's important to spread your wings, because I have to tell you that actually more than 85%, I think even 90% of all the investors we have on our startup, on our film, we didn't know personally. They were referred to us, or they found us through referrals. A very important step number 10, test. Test and test. The conversion of your crowdfunding campaign before you even start it. Why is that important? Because once you get that first impression out there, you need to make sure that it works, it impresses people, and they like to go on it. You just have 1 chance to make a first impression. So, calculate well how many visits you need and how much percentage of conversion you have before starting your crowdfunding campaign, and how much dollars or euros you will make from those visits and that conversion, the percentage of persons who see the website or the crowdfunding page and ultimately invest or buy through the business plan. So you have to ask yourself, to raise this kind of amounts with my current percentage of people who buy or invest based on the business plan, how many visits, how many leads do I need? Is it 10,000 leads? Is it 100,000? Is it 1 million? So this will help you to calculate to how many persons you need to get the message out there. Step 11. Make sure you reach your goal of your crowdfunding campaign before you even start. So how do you do that? So here's the thinking process that we implemented. So for example, I thought I raised during the first 3 months, I raised $10,000 by contacting 1,000 persons. So, okay, if I extrapolate that, it's just mathematics. If I contact 20,000 persons, I have the potential, or probably, I will raise $200,000, right? Or have also a backup plan. And this is the thinking process behind it. Like, I already raised $100,000 in 3 months using 20% of my network and 20% of my network's network. So if I use 80% of my own network and the network of my network, in the next 6 months, yes, I'll work harder, then I have the potential to raise $500,000, right? That's just mathematics. So think about that before you even start to make sure that you get to the end goal with the capacity, with the preparation, with the network, with the business plan, with everything you have. Step number 12, 100% focus. Why? Well, from our experience, it depends from project to project, obviously, but to give you just an insight, what it did for us is that to raise $200,000 through crowdfunding, it took about 9 months' work, full-time work, from one person, from the founder, to create that from us, and about 100 to 500 hours, depending on the scope and the size of the project, from assistants who help out with a lot of different things. Website, emails, administration, and so on. So that's what it takes to, from scratch, from zero, if you haven't done anything big before that impresses investors from the first moment, that's what it takes to pull this project off. Step 13, engage the network of your network. How? Well, for example, we created a referral program. We made it on the crowdfunding campaign really easy for people to recommend the crowdfunding campaign, to recommend the business plan, to recommend the project, and to recommend other investors. We gave them social media templates, email templates, well, everything that they need, that you just have to push one button, copy-paste in their email or social media, and make it work. Step 14, build on your successes. Which means once you achieve some success with your crowdfunding campaign, show it to the world, because that gives extra credibility and authority to the other ones coming on board. For example, when we reached the home page of Indiegogo and the newsletter, and we were the most funded European documentary ever on Indiegogo, we put that on the crowdfunding campaign to show, hey guys, this is a project worth supporting. It is already successful, and it makes it easy for other persons to also support it. And then step 15, give amazing value. Do what you say, walk your talk with integrity, and deliver what you promised. You've seen the trailer, it looks amazing, and it's worth the money invested from the investors, and they trust, and they already, some of them, made a return on investment even before the project went out there, because it looks so amazing and other clients come to them already thanks to that. Persons who would like to raise funds for their own startup, at least $100,000, they're welcome for a free strategy call of half an hour with us. And you can go right now, actually, to wesowski.com/call. The first 5 persons who register there, even right now, right here, they get a free consultation call to look at the strategy personally for you, what you can do to raise more funds with your startup. And remember, everything you dream of, you have those dreams for something, no matter where you come from. And everything you can achieve, everything is within your reach. So thank you very much, and get out there.
Muchas gracias.